rape cases marked exceptionally cleared.
Have you ever heard of exceptional clearance?
No.
Each two words that mean the same as solved, yet
The public is under the false impression that we have solved a crime and a rapist has been held accountable.
no arrests, leaving victims in limbo. Police agencies are incorrectly clearing these crimes.
My exceptionally cleared, the previous sheriff's exceptionally cleared might be two different things.
I'm just a little confused because it really isn't by definition.
Now suspects are walking free.
And they get to continue to live their lives.
11 Alive investigates an exceptional problem.
It's been almost 2 years.
He knows what he did.
Christian Park says her former boyfriend held her down and assaulted her for 5 minutes.
This specific time, he did stop and say he was sorry. Much after I'd said, no, please stop.
Her case was closed by Dallas, Georgia police for lack of evidence. Christian knew that, but she didn't know officers also marked it exceptionally cleared. Have you ever heard of exceptional clearance?
No.
Here's what it is. When police can't arrest a suspect for reasons beyond their control, for example, the suspect has died, is already in custody for another crime in another jurisdiction, or a victim no longer wants to pursue charges. But first, police must identify who and where the suspect is and have enough evidence to make an arrest. That means Christian's case could not be exceptionally cleared. Police did it anyway.
That just makes me so mad.
Exceptional clearance expert and retired police sergeant Liz Donegan says misusing exceptional clearance is a big deal.
Under exceptional clearance, the public is under the false impression that we have solved a crime and a rapist has been held accountable.
That's because exceptional clearance and solved cases are considered the same thing in policing, when in reality, the suspect is still out there.
And they get to continue to live their lives. They don't have to go to therapy and relive those moments. They don't have to think about it.
And Christian's isn't the only mismarked case. All 4 of Dallas's exceptionally cleared rape and sex assault cases were given that label incorrectly. We told Dallas police about our findings, and the department admits it made a mistake. Those cases are now marked inactive.
I just want them to do right the next time, because this is not okay.
Every folder full of police reports. Every report. A person raped or sexually assaulted. Every case cleared without any arrests. It's likely you've never heard of exceptional clearance.
No, what is that?
Neither had Robin Smith Bright, even though it is why her daughter's rape investigation is closed.
One thing that I told me to suck his
Okay.
and I got scared, so I did it.
Did you think that there was a possibility that you actually did it?
I have no idea. You know, it could be a possibility. It could, but I'm not so sure.
It's supposed to mean police couldn't arrest the suspect for reasons beyond their control, even though they have the evidence they need. Every agency must check these boxes first, and then at least one of these boxes in order to use it. Miss one checkmark, it doesn't qualify. But that's not how Evans County Sheriff's Office used it.
But there are no exceptional reasons why they can't arrest this person.
Right.
Hasn't died.
Nope.
He hasn't fled the country.
Nope.
He's not in custody for another crime.
Nope.
They could go arrest him tomorrow.
Yes.
But the sheriff's office didn't arrest the suspect because they said they didn't have enough evidence.
Once you read it, I think you'll see.
The sheriff didn't see a problem with that.
My exceptionally cleared, the previous sheriff's exceptionally cleared might be two different things.
I'm just a little confused because it really isn't by definition. It's one thing.
It's a play on words, I guess.
No, it's not. Exceptional clearance is the same no matter your state, city, or county. When police report their numbers to the public, exceptionally clearing the case is the same as solving a case with an arrest. That's why exceptional clearance should be relatively rare. But we found that's not the case in rape investigations.
The public needs to know about what's going on.
Dave Thomas with the International Association of Chiefs of Police says anything over 9% is alarming.
When we start getting in higher percentiles, I want to go in and do some data mining and look at the cases, look and see whether they met the criteria.
So that's exactly what we did. We filed open records requests with departments in 48 counties across Georgia. Remember these check marks? We found agencies all over the state missing a lot of them. Reports show officers saying there was insufficient evidence, that a story was fabricated. The case was transferred. All of it a misuse. Multiple agencies acknowledged the mistake once we showed them. But for Robin Bright, it's not enough.
I want him to be arrested. I want him to be put away for that and labeled as what he is.
Justice for rape victims is rare. But the little-known practice called exceptional clearance allows police to get credit for clearing cases without arrests. It's something police all over the country and Georgia use, including Gwinnett County Police. Special Victims Unit Manager Lieutenant Jason Ayers and Sergeant Jennifer Richter agreed to sit down with us and explain how they use it.
Most of those cases are supposed to be reviewed by the manager or above to actually make sure that they fall in line with what the category is.
In order to fall in line, police need probable cause, meaning enough evidence to make an arrest, but can't for reasons beyond their control. 11 Alive looked at the exceptionally cleared rape cases for the department in 2021, and we found in many of them, the suspect was never questioned.
Can you have probable cause without even interviewing the suspect and getting the other side?
All the parties and the witnesses need to be interviewed.
If that's true, how are these cases exceptionally cleared?
Technically speaking, by statute, you have probable cause with the victim's outcry.
But we were just talking about that, and you said we don't have
prosecute.
that probable cause.
I'll ask our legal advisor.
We uncovered other discrepancies in Gwinnett. One case marked exceptionally cleared said it was because the officer thought the rape allegation was fabricated. If that's the case, it should have been ruled unfounded.
What's the harm? Like, what are we getting at here?
Is there harm in exceptionally clearing something that shouldn't be exceptionally cleared?
No.
No.
Exceptional clearance experts say that's not true.
Well, first, it's a disservice to victims. Secondly, it's a disservice to the community. This is the polar opposite of keeping the community safe.
Gwinnett County Police gave us 25 exceptionally cleared cases to review. In most of them, they were exceptionally cleared because they said the victim did not want to move forward. That is a legitimate reason, according to the FBI, but only if police have enough evidence to arrest the suspect.
If that victim hadn't said that, if they hadn't said, I don't want to prosecute, I want to continue, would there have been an arrest?
If there was evidence.
But that's the whole point, because exceptional clearance is saying you have everything you need to make an arrest. There's just one thing getting in your way. And that's not what we're saying here.
Well, we can examine our practices around exceptional clearance. I mean, we can take a look at that, but I don't think we're using it wrongly, but we can always take a look at it and just make sure.
Mia Johnson spends every day fighting for her son.
It's like I'm living a complete nightmare.
A fight she feels like she's losing.
And the worst part of it is feeling like nobody believes us and that nobody's protecting kids like him.
In early 2021, Mia says her 8-year-old son revealed he was being molested. Mia took her son to the doctor and the police, but she says DeKalb County Police would not move forward with an arrest.
We need a statement from him. So anything that I say doesn't matter.
It doesn't sound unreasonable that police would want to hear from the child if they're being abused. There's just one problem in Mia's case. Her son can't tell them, at least not with words, because he has autism and is nonverbal. He communicates with writing and pictures. And Mia says the police just don't speak his language.
They come back and say, we couldn't get anything out of him. We're gonna try to keep this open. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. We do see some concern.
2 years later, the case remains unsolved. The suspect still free.
The fault will be put on the child's inability to speak.
Camille Proctor is the founder and executive director of the Color of Autism Foundation. She says police departments need to provide specially trained therapists for cases like these.
There's ways to get the answers from a child that has no words.
And the reality is, even when children don't have a disability, justice in molestation cases is hard to come by.
I just know that it's not normal for a 3-year-old to get genital warts.
This case of a 3-year-old with a sexually transmitted infection was closed by Greensboro, Georgia police for lack of evidence.
He has been touching her, like touching her.
This case out of Statesboro, where a teen said her father molested her at least 20 times, is inactive. We uncovered a number of child sex crimes considered solved, even though no one was ever arrested.
They're not believed.
Mosaic, Georgia is a sexual assault center that specializes in care for children.
It takes a long time for children to come forth. They're testing the waters. They're seeing, how are you going to respond to me if I tell you something happened to me?
Mia says she knows the odds are against her, but she won't stop raising her voice to make sure her son is finally heard.
I want justice to happen. I want people to be held accountable. I want people to do their jobs.